Hey, what's up guys? My name's Fonz and welcome back to our Genshin Impact Beginners guide. Today we are tackling a big one. We're talking artifacts. There's a lot to go over here. We're going to talk about artifacts, their main stats, their substats, their set bonuses, upgrading them, and when to farm them, because that's a big one. Don't mind the new layout. I hope you guys like this. It helps me not have to worry about switching screens so much and focus more just on like the information that I'm trying to deliver. So without further ado, let's talk artifacts. So think of artifacts as like randomly rolled armor. Because these are characters in a story, they don't want to change how they look, so they give them like runes or artifacts to alter how they play and to boost their stats. Essentially, artifacts allow you to customize the build of a character, even potentially changing up like their whole style of gameplay depending upon how you want to play them. You can have a 1-star artifact all the way to a 5-star artifact, and they're all randomly rolled, so you have no idea what you're going to get on any given piece. Each artifact will come with one main stat and up to 4 substats. So let's talk about the main stats for a second. Your flower will always be flat HP, your feather will always be flat attack, but your sands, your goblet, and your circlet can all have a ton of different main stats, so I'll show them on the screen now. Now every character is going to be a little bit different, so their main stats that they want are going to be a little bit different, but just for instance, for like a main DPS, obviously, like I said, we're going to have that flat HP on your flower. We're going to have that flat attack on your feather. For your sands, you're probably going to want something like attack percent. For your goblet, typically you're going to want to give them the type of damage that they do. You're going to want to boost that damage. So for instance, Diluc here does a lot of pyro damage, so we give him a pyro damage bonus goblet. And your circlet, you're going to want to give either crit rate or crit damage, whatever you're lacking on. You always want to have a 1-to-2 ratio as kind of a guideline. 1 crit rate for every 2 crit damage. But keep in mind, these main stats depend on the character. Someone like Xingqiu, I'm always going to pretty much run an energy recharge because I want his ult to be up constantly. Now that we have a general understanding of main stats, let's talk a little bit about substats, because this is where things get a little bit more complicated. So every artifact will start off with at least 1 random substat, and as you level them up, they will max out at 4 random substats. Every 4 levels that you level up that artifact, it will gain 1 additional random substat. Now, if you already have 4 substats on that piece, you're not going to be awarded another one. You're going to get a random boost to one of those existing substats. So here's a list of all the substats that you can get on artifacts. It's kind of a big list, but just don't worry. This is what makes artifact grinding so hard, is that you have so many possibilities, and there's really like 4 or 5 options that you want for most characters. Now, the only substat that you cannot get on an artifact is whatever the main stat is on that piece. So for a flower, you're never going to get flat HP. You might get HP percent, but you'll never get flat HP. Same thing for a feather. Always comes with flat attack. You'll never get a flat attack. You might get attack percent, but never flat attack. You can't double up on them. Thank God. God knows everything I would have would just be all flat defense. Now, depending upon the character you're using, there might be some substats that are better than others. For instance, if you have a support character, you might want to take the substats that have a little bit more energy recharge so that their supporting abilities are up more often for your team. But for a DPS character, you're most likely going to be focusing on crit rate, crit damage, and attack percent. Now, this isn't always the case. Every character is different. Let's take a look at Hu Tao, whose damage is literally based off of her HP. So definitely look into the character a little bit to decide which stats you want to really lean into. So like I said, that's not going to be the case for every single character, but it's a decent baseline to kind of build your knowledge off of. Next, let's talk a little bit about set bonuses. So I'm not going to go through every artifact set because we just don't have that kind of time. 2.0 is right around the corner. But there are 3 types of artifact set bonuses. Most artifacts will have a 2-piece set bonus and a 4-piece set bonus, but there are a few, and they're far between, that are a 1-piece set bonus, and most of the time it's to like get a certain element off of you to like remove some debuff. They're pretty much only useful in like Spiral Abyss, but let's not talk about those. Now, most 2-piece set bonuses boost like a specific stat, whether that be a certain type of elemental damage, whether that be just attack percent, or whether it just be adding like elemental mastery. But for the most part, 4-piece set bonuses are going to be a little bit more specific and complex. Some of them are like, oh, if your character is using this specific type of weapon, then they do this much more damage on their normal and charged attacks, or whenever you use your elemental skill, you gain a 15% damage bonus for a specific amount of time. And some of them get pretty interesting. So depending upon the character, you might want to use a 4-piece set bonus, or you might want to use 2 2-piece set bonuses. It just depends on the type of build that you're going for on that character. And I'll be honest, if you're looking to build a specific character, I would probably just look up some videos on them. I highly recommend Ziox's channel. His channel is awesome for looking up build videos. I'll try to remember to put his link down in the description, but I would highly recommend checking him out if you're looking for a specific character's build video. I think he's done almost every character in the game, and the dude's just like a genius. Definitely recommend him if you don't already know who he is. Next, let's talk about upgrading artifacts. So the rarity of your artifact will actually determine how high you can level it up. A 1-star and a 2-star artifact can be leveled up to level 4. A 3-star artifact can be leveled up to level 12. A 4-star at level 16, and finally a 5-star can be leveled all the way up to 20. So you level up artifacts by actually feeding other artifacts into them, and they act as XP. So it's always good to have like a bunch of like lower level artifacts around, just so you can just level up a good artifact if you come across one. So right here we can see the substats. We have an attack percent, crit rate, energy recharge on this Noblesse flower. Let's go ahead and just add some here and just see what we get. So all I'm doing is auto adding. It's going to auto add the lowest to the highest. You can click here and filter if you want it to be a 4-star, 3-star, 2-star. So if you only want it to put in 2-star and you want to keep your 3 stars, then you just add 2-star and you're good. I'm going to keep it on 4 stars because I pretty much only use 5 stars at this point. So let's pump it up and see. We're going to get up to level 4 and we're going to see it add another stat. So you can see there, once it passes level 4, it's going to add an additional bonus attribute. So let's go ahead and see what it is. Please be good. Flat defense, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. All right, let's do it again though. Let's see how far we can pump this. I don't think we have enough artifacts to really get this very far, but let's keep going here. All right, so you can see here, now that it's going to be past level 8, we're going to randomly upgrade one bonus attribute. So let's go ahead and enhance that.
God knows everything I would have would just be all flat defense.
Did you see how beautiful this was? How gorgeous that is? And then we got 2 hits in flat defense. Come on, man. But anyway, that's how it works when you level up artifacts. Son of a bitch. So finally, let's talk about when you should be grinding for artifacts. When you should start farming artifacts, the age-old question. And we're gonna answer it right now after a word from our sponsor. I'm just kidding. All right, so between AR1 and AR20, you're gonna have mostly 1 to 2-star artifacts, maybe some 3 stars, and like the occasional 4-star. You're not farming anything, just play the game. Learn how to play, you need to crawl before you can walk, okay? The next big milestone that you'll hit is getting past AR25. So once you get past AR25, you're gonna start seeing more 4-star artifacts. And at that point, your world level also goes up, so the potential of getting 4-star artifacts from all the enemies that you're killing also goes up. And 4-star artifacts get added into the loot pools of the bosses and all the domains. But don't stop the video now and go start farming. Just wait, just give me a second. Let me get through this. The next milestone is going to be a little bit bigger of a jump. It's going to be getting to AR40. Once you're past AR40, you can finally start obtaining those beautiful gold 5-star artifacts. They'll drop from higher level domains and be added to the boss's loot pool. However, they're not guaranteed. The big one, finally, getting past AR45. Once you get past AR45, you're guaranteed a 5-star artifact for every single domain run that you do at the higher levels. And I'm pretty sure that you get a guaranteed one for every boss run as well. I don't remember. I could be wrong on that though. So everyone asks, should I start farming artifacts at AR35 or 40 or 45? Here's the thing. If you want to do a couple domains here and there, do your thing, but don't start like hardcore grinding, in my opinion, until at least AR40. Like AR40 is like, okay, sure, but you're still not guaranteed. If you have the patience, if you have the willpower to hold out past AR40 and get past AR45, your resin will thank you. You get way more value out of grinding dungeons past AR45 than you do just past AR40. And speaking of resin, I would highly recommend holding on to all of your fragile resin until you get past AR45. Like, you have no reason to be blowing your fragile resin before AR45. Maybe you can make an argument for AR40, but just plan on AR45. Just like develop some discipline and just don't do it. Trust me. Honestly, I think AR40 is fine. I think if you start farming at AR40, you'll get some 5 stars and it'll be exciting, but you will get a lot more bang for your buck when it comes to resin at AR45+. But there you go. In general, that's artifacts in a nutshell. So that's everything you you need to know about grinding artifacts and what are artifacts and what are all the substats and what to look out for and stuff like that. If you have more specific questions, because we did kind of like a general overview, I didn't do anything specific. I wasn't talking about specific characters really. If you have any questions on anything like that, definitely drop them down in the comment section down below and I'll be happy to try to answer them. Like I said before, a great resource for a lot of this type of information is going to be from Ziox's channel. I think that's how you say his name. The dude's super dope. I really enjoy his videos. He does a really good job. Like I said, I'll try to remember to leave his link down in the description. But there you go. There's another episode of our Genshin Impact Beginners Guide. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section. Is there anything that's still a little bit fuzzy for you? Does some things not make sense? Like I said, drop a comment. I'll make sure to answer every single one. Pinky swear. But if the video did help you out, definitely drop a like down below. It really means a lot and helps the channel out quite a bit. And these videos take a lot longer to make than the normal style of content that I do. So I really appreciate the support on them. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed your time here, maybe consider subscribing. We do videos like this sometimes, but a lot of Genshin content. Okay, 2.0 is right around the corner and I am like ready to go in, bro. I am so excited for 2.0. Freaking Inazuma. But before we go, a huge shout out to the members of the channel. Thank you so much for helping make these videos possible. I really appreciate you guys. Once again, I hope this video helped you guys for real. I think there's a lot of good information in here and I hope that it helped somebody. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys and we will see you on the next one.